Where do we go now? That's the question. Where do we go now, mate?
Where do we go, Thorin? I feel like we covered MSI well. Covered EWC too.
Was there any more news that I've missed? There must be some shit happened. What happened
It's
during
just
the
the
last
crazy off-season bullshit, you know. That's
Oh
like the
yeah,
big
some
one.
roster moves.
There's also like a pretty big community reaction to Caedrel announcing that he does EWC, right?
Oh, okay. Do you want to do that? Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. We can do that if you want, Yamato. So people don't know.
Yeah, go
There's
ahead.
Obviously, every year around EWC, you're going to see this same thing happen, which is anyone who's talent who accepts either to be on the broadcast, the quick shots of the world, or if I think maybe even Atlas did it, or you can have like the people who do the core streaming, obviously, because at this point in time, core streaming is the broadcast, it's just an alternative broadcast, right? What people are going to do is this thing, which I'm kind of baffled by, Yamato. I genuinely thought it would be the opposite. What I thought would happen is once every fan who watches these tournaments accepts, well, that makes me, on some sense, complicit with what's going on with the Saudis, etc. Surely at that point, it would be the opposite. You'd go, well, I don't want to keep thinking about the fact that I'm contributing to this, so I'll just let everyone go have a pass. Instead, what we're doing, because it's esports, is people who accept to do EWC in any context, so Caedrel's obviously being paid to core stream, they're getting raked over the coals as like scumbags and immoral. But by the same people who, as far as I can tell you, Marto, don't mind the players playing in the tournament, like Faker's allowed to play, and they themselves are going to watch the tournament. But then what are we hating on Caedrel for? Do you know what I mean? So give me some thoughts. What's your thoughts on this bigger topic? Obviously, you said you're going to core stream it anyway, but what do you think about this bigger issue? Because I want to know where you stand on this.
Because on my end, it's weird where people draw lines for other people, and they want to push those lines onto other people. Like if you choose, like I think Dom's messaging was like he didn't like Dom's messaging was very good. He makes his own choice, didn't judge anyone else.
He wasn't judgmental either. Yeah, he went out of his way.
Didn't judge anyone for it. Made his own choice, and that's it. I think that's good. I said myself, it's like I know that esports and like I take money from many different sources, right? And I don't have control over that. And then at some point, I need to ask myself, it's like, do I want to be involved in esports or not? Because this is the direction we're heading in. And in my mind, I made my career off of esports, and I needed to survive right now. And maybe in the future, I'll have different options, but I would never close that off by attacking anyone else for the decisions they make. I do think the main thing is like messaging. I think that there was, I think Caedrel said last year that I think his point was that he didn't think too much. Like he didn't think that the tournament would be reoccurring, and he didn't like the format at the time, and the timing of it was bad because he was like very, very exhausted and fatigued, but he didn't like close any doors for himself.
Okay.
I think that there was like one time where he tweeted under, I think Chronicler said that he's not doing EWC, and then he tweeted under that he's based. Like that was like the main thing that is held against him.
Okay.
That is like one thing that is held against him. That's what I read. But I think in the grand scheme of things, I think anyone is free to make their own choice. I think people should vote with their view or with their money, and that's what it is. But beyond that, I don't think there's much more to do. Like, I don't think it's that deep or complicated. I understand that people look at it as sport washing, because of course it is. I know from the Saudi side that they want to like diversify their business portfolio to be anything else but oil, and use their massive cash to bring in any form of business into the country, and that's like their idea of incorporating themselves in the West. And sports washing has been something that has happened in every country, and I don't buy the argument that LPL is China and LTA North is the American government, and those arguments people do, which is silly, which is very, very silly. But in the end, I think it's just a question of, I think it's something that is personal. You're allowed to voice it, but I think it's weird how people draw very strange lines. Nobody complained about the teams. Nobody complains about Riot. Like they have made this from a PR side genius. Like they tried to pull the same stuff with the gambling, I'm not sitting there reading the gambling news. Like they could have stopped league gambling years ago. Like this has been ongoing. Like what are we talking about? Why are we talking about it as if going to be new now? It has been a part of the scene since years and years and years back. Like they are just doing PR jiu-jitsu, Riot Games. They are not getting any shit, they are somehow just getting off scot-free. It's very strange how you choose in point, but I think it's just a question of proximity. I think the proximity to streamers and creators is just too parasocial, and I think that's where the core of the reaction comes from.
No, I'm looking it up now, but because what I was looking up while you were just searching there is for the millionth time. You've heard it before, Yamato, but I'll just repeat it for the millionth time. I don't actually have a problem with anyone doing anything with the Saudis. By the way, here's the thing, and in this sense, I think Caedrel's quite similar to me. He just cares about the game. He just wants to watch good games of good teams playing, and so. By the way, that means, depending on what era and time, there's plenty of countries and weird places and weird regimes and stuff that if you had an awesome tournament, I'm sorry, I would watch it. I even said this as a joke when they announced the Esports World Cup, Yamato, because in StarCraft, they put like an insane amount of prize money in. I even said, this is where you know the Saudis aren't actually super familiar with the history of esports. I'll tell you what the OP min-max move you do is this, Yamato. You don't even need like 50 million or whatever. If you just made a tournament that was in Quake 3 or Quake Live, and the winner gets $1 million. Do you know how many old school esports people, the entire industry basically, would watch that tournament to watch like Cooler play Cypher and play fucking Rafa and play... We'd all watch it! Even though, by the way, it wouldn't matter in the context of esports, but I'll tell you what, the whole industry would pretend for that week they don't have a problem with the Saudis because we all just want to see some fucking awesome old school esports with like crazy prize money. It's immediately entertaining. No one got into esports because they're a fucking saint or some moral person. It's fucking video games. We're just here to watch the best video game players play. And so just like in boxing, if they have an amazing title fight, it doesn't really matter what you think about politics. You're going to watch the fucking boxing in Saudi, aren't you? You're going to watch that fucking awesome intro. You're going to watch fucking Tyson Fury walk out with Badadan remix by Jason Status or whatever with his fucking little... You're going to watch it, of course. So my problem is this. When I was looking up, I always say this, Yamato. I'm not Richard Lewis. I'm not saying I think it's just morally wrong to work with the Saudis, so don't do that. The reason I don't do it is because I knew, like on shows like this and Four Horsemen, I am going to constantly point out people were hypocrites for working with the Saudis. So even though that doesn't mean I would be a hypocrite for not working with the Saudis, but I would be a hypocrite in the sense that I'm calling you out for doing something I then do. So I don't work with them anyway. But my issue isn't that people work with the Saudis. It's if you have gone out of your way to go, hey guys, give me a medal. I love all gay people and all women and all minority. I fight for everyone who is oppressed. God, let my people go. Then you can't work with the Saudis. I'm sorry. That ship sailed, bro. You can't then go, hey, can I have a giant bag? By the way, if you knew the money I've heard Caedrel and them are getting offered, it's crazy money. Like, put it this way, they'll make more doing one EWC than like probably Caps will this whole year or something mental. Like, we're talking monster money, like big time. Again, you all go, how can anyone say no to the bag? By the way, where's all the credit for Dom for saying no? Where is that credit, by the way? Dom literally is a guy you'll all never say is a good person, but he's done a literal act to turn down the bag none of you would turn down, but you're all going to tell me Caedrel's the best guy ever, and he won't turn the bag down. By the way, they both make millions of dollars even outside of EWC. Like, again, I'll just throw this out there. People always say, it's easy to fucking say no when you're the rich guy. It's the other way around. It's harder when you're rich. That's when you get offered millions of pounds. Like, if you're the nobody, you can say no because you broke anyway. It's the other way around. It's easy. If you can't turn down the bag when you're poor, you'll never turn it down when you're rich. That's when you got the best opportunities ever. So what I was looking up, Yamato, is this. As far as I can tell, unless he's deleted them, Caedrel doesn't make tweets about politics, bro. I was looking on his Twitter now using advanced search. I was looking up diversity. He only tweeted the word diversity once. It was about LDL drafts. I was looking up LGBTQ, never tweeted that word ever. Gay, never tweeted. Pride, he just tweeted some shit about Caps being the pride of Europe. Like, he's not the guy. Virtue signaling. This is what I don't get. Here's the thing. I even like Quickshot, and I definitely understand why with his current circumstances he does the Esports World Cup. But you know what, Quickshot? I told you this to your face. I'd tell you it if you're on the stream right now. You did definitely virtue signal like a motherfucker about Neon though, mate. You were all over that shit. You know what, Shocks and Law? You were all over that shit too. All of you people. Not some of these people aren't working with them. But if you ever do work with them, I will criticize you. I will point that out, that you did do it. I just don't get like you're saying. I don't know what Caedrel's done wrong. As far as I can tell, it's just because he's the biggest streamer. Like, this isn't hypocritical behavior. As far as I know, Caedrel just gives a fuck about the game, mate. He's just trying to watch the best game possible. And so if this tournament comes along, it's an excellent chance to make a massive amount of money, and he's going to take it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't miss
like
you.
I've had the take that I wish that the league circuit was more like the CS circuit, and the money that needs to fund that is like gambling money and Saudi money. So like on my side, in terms of what league is and wanting to watch league, I'm the same way. Like I want to watch the competition. If there's going to be great players and great teams playing against each other, it's like that's what I want to watch, and that's what I care about. It's like I'm aware of all the political circumstances, probably more than most people in esports all over the world, because that's just how, like if you are from Palestinian background and you are learning from your father about the world, then that's just you Al Jazeera is on 24/7. You get the news in, you know what's happening all over the world. Like you are in the loop. And the final thing I wanted to point to is just like, in my mind, it's like it just seems like the lack of empathy and forethought is always there. I think that's always the main fault of virtue signaling, is that nobody can put themselves in anyone else's shoes for what decisions they make or what decisions they don't do. And I think that's always the miss. And I think that was the miss during the Neom era too, that they pushed it off, and they took a stance in that moment because they probably believed in that moment. And I don't remember if they went against somebody that didn't, because I think weaponizing it is where it gets wrong. But switching the tune, it just as if you realize that things are moving beyond you and that are outside of your control, and then whatever decision you make with that is entirely up to you, because there are way bigger moving pieces than Caedrel or whatever that have made decisions about moving esports into that direction. And I think for Caedrel's side, the reason he might get a little bit of kickback is that I think he has built his stream around the idea of being as agreeable as possible in many, many ways. And I think now this was probably like the first big disagreeable thing that occurred for some people.
Except for that time, he said he didn't vote for T1 as the Team of the Year at the Esports Awards or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
There was that time he betrayed everyone by having an opinion that was objectively right. But aside from that, no, that's why I say I don't really get why Caedrel, of all people, is the one getting banged on for this. Like, I've never seen him as someone who lived this double life for pretending he was an activist. Like, to me, he's more. It's why, actually, by the way, it's why I do have crazy respect for Dom for this move, because I also would have said the same about Dom. I don't ever see Dom tweet about politics or flex that he's some super fucking empathetic person. Actually, I would have thought Dom would be the guy who'd say, listen, mate, I'm just here to make fucking sick money and watch League of Legends. Like, yeah, hook me up, let's do it. So I'm actually kind of impressed he said no. I guess in his case, he does think I've got enough elsewhere. Also, by the way, I will say, if you're Dom, it's nice to also just have a fucking chill week, innit? Have a week off. Remember, you casted 1 billion weeks of the year. People don't know. One of the reasons why you will very rarely see me and Dom in any shows is Dom doesn't do other shows. Like, he's constantly fucking watching live streamed games of League of Legends, so he's already overworked as it is. But no, man, I won't diss Caedrel, but I will say mad respect to Dom. But also, I will seed this in though. Just like in the past, Caedrel never said he wouldn't work it, and I noticed Dom didn't technically say he would never work with them or whatever, right? This is where I do think it's unfair, Yamato. Every year of EWC, I predict you will get these initial flare-ups where people will go crazy at someone working it. But then each year that EWC exists, and I believe one day it will just be an MSI type tournament in the Riot circuit. I think the reason it's really unfair is what you said before. It's people just deciding, is this already someone I don't like? Oh, they're working with the Saudis, get them. But when your favourites, which in a few years will all be working with the Saudis, when they all, think of the list of all your favourite players, all your favourite fucking talents, all your favourite tournament, when they all work with the Saudis, eventually you're just going to accept it and go, who cares? But I care. I care that you pretended in 2024 to hate someone for that. You pretended in 2025 this guy was the worst piece of shit ever. But then 2 years later, when your favourite person goes to work there, you're going to go, well, what can you do? It's just the industry now, isn't it? They have to make a living. Well, then keep that fucking energy the whole time, mate. Because as you notice, on this topic, I have thought out my parameters of where I'm going to go, what I'm willing to do. And I've tried to make I will take down people I don't like, but only if it's consistent. Like I said, by the way, I made fun of Doublelift because Doublelift did stupidly joke that the Saudis are human rights abusers. Well, then if you then co-stream it, bro, that's what you're co-streaming, human rights abuse by your logic. You fucking idiot. But if you were someone who has never said anything like that and you do it, I won't flame you. You can work the event. It's all good. It's not a bad topic.
It's funny. I looked up because you mentioned that I'm
because we did the Obi one last week, didn't we? We already did that one.
I thought it's funny.
There was one piece in it. Oh, go on. Tell me what you're going to say. Go on.
No, I just wanted to say, it's like I just pulled up like the sponsorships of IM Cologne. It's like I know that IM and the ESL is owned by the Saudis, and then it's sponsored by the US Air Force.
Of course.
That's just where we are at.
And by the way, here's the difference. That is a sponsor you can claim, much like the Saudi one is fucked up. That is the government, that is the army, well, the Air Force in this case, that's the military of the USA, a country, sponsoring, which means, by the way, funnily enough, they're working with the Saudis doing this. If you look up people getting bombed in Yemen by the US Air Force, you can criticize that. That's very much like criticizing the Saudis. The problem is, no one ever did criticize it before this, Yamato, just because of the Saudis they do. And then secondly, people sadly take every other tournament and go, hey, the CS major was just in America. Yeah, Donald Trump wasn't fucking involved in it, you idiot. He didn't go, hey, awesome, like, and you get to double bigly good. He didn't say anything. He wasn't even involved. So I hate when they do that whataboutism you're talking about, where they try to act like every tournament in the West means you're part of like the military industrial complex. Like, no. By the way, if every tournament in the West was actually involved with the US government, I would have a bigger issue with it, of course. That would be scandalous. There would be questions you'd have to ask yourself. That's not the case when ESL runs a tournament or fucking Blast in this case in CS.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.